Alexandra, why did you come to Springfield after all these years?
My instincts told me the time was right.
And you always trust your instincts?
They've never failed me. Oh, you asked me for any information I could remember on my son's father, so I made some notes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm doing everything possible to locate your son.
I know you are.
For his sake as well as yours. You see, Philip's situation has made me more aware of children involved in custody battles. I believe it's the right of every child to know both parents.
Philip will be a wonderful father.
If given half a chance, yes, but he's so afraid. He's afraid that if he doesn't marry Mindy Lewis, he's never going to see that child.
That must not happen.
Well, I talked to Billy Lewis this morning. We did little more than lose our tempers.
Oh, don't give up. For Philip's sake and for the child's.
No, I don't intend to.
Oh, but I do hate to see Philip getting tied up with the Lewises.
It's a bit late in the game to prevent that. You're very interested in Philip, aren't you?
He's my nephew.
He's not a Spaulding. He's a Marlar.
From what I've seen, there's nothing wrong with the Marlar bloodline. But Philip was raised a Spaulding. Environment can be every bit as influential as heredity.
Alan's environment?
And Philip rebelled, just as I did. I'm very impressed with him. He will be the hope of Spaulding Enterprises.
You know, when it comes to Spaulding Enterprises, Philip is going to be in direct competition with your own son.
Nonsense. They'll make a perfect team. Philip had the environment but lacks the heredity. My son has the heredity but has lacked the environment. Together, they would be unstoppable.
It's all right. I didn't call you here to take a piece of your hide.
Well, what is it that you feel that we have to say to each other?
Well, first of all, we can stop by being so damn suspicious and maybe just be honest.
Okay.
You're not scared of me, are you, boy?
No. Sir.
All right, let's lay the cards on the table. You don't love my daughter, do you?
No, I don't. Mr. Lewis.
No, it's okay. I said honest, and I appreciate honest. I never loved all the women I slept with. Matter of fact, I didn't even love most of them. But they knew what the score was, and if they didn't, then I made sure they did, or I didn't fool around with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Well, you live by some other rules?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then how did this thing happen with Mindy? Boy, I'm trying real hard to understand this because it just doesn't add up. Now, Mindy is no sophisticated girl of the world, and she is no tramp either.
No, she's not.
Well, then why'd she give herself to you? Did you tell her you loved her?
No. I love Beth. I always have, and Mindy always knew that. She was Mindy. She was a good friend.
And that's all?
Yeah.
And she understood that?
She said that she did.
Well, I guess she really must love you, boy.
I don't know. I really hope that's not true.
But, Philip, there's just a couple more things I'd like to say to you, and if you'll hear me out, you can walk out of here afterwards. You don't ever have to see Mindy again if you don't want to.
Well, what about the baby?
That's what I want to talk to you about.
You're doing your best.
Not too many people know this. Not even Mindy. But, I got somebody pregnant once, too. Yeah. It was Mindy's mama. Of course, in those days, we didn't scrap too much about, the boys didn't scrap too much about marrying a girl if she got pregnant, so we got married when we were juniors at the university. And that was one sad wedding, let me tell you. Her mama and she were crying, and they weren't tears of joy. Oh. And me, Oh, I just wanted to be over at the frat house with my friends, drinking beer, watching football on the color TV. HB, he figured if I was old enough to get married, then I was old enough to live without his financial support. So I quit the football team, and I was a star running back at the time. And I took a couple part-time jobs, so did my wife. We moved into a trailer house near the campus, and things got kind of rough between us, because now we weren't just a couple of college kids with the world by the tail. No, when we got through paying the bills, I figured we didn't eat too well. It wasn't a good life.
Well, why are you telling me this?
One day, one night, my wife woke me up and said she's going to have the baby. And so I got up and got dressed, took her to the hospital. Now, I'm one of them newfangled daddies who goes into the delivery room. No, I just sat in the waiting room at the University Hospital there and stared at the carpet. Pretty soon, some nurse come along. She said, "Mr. Lewis, you have a daughter. And she and your wife are fine." Well, I thanked the nurse, and then I realized that up until that point, I had only thought about this baby as a problem, and now it was a living, breathing human being, and it was a little girl. Well, I went down to the nursery. I didn't know what to expect, and I looked through the glass. I seen all these babies, and they were either screaming or crying, and then I saw the little crib that said "Lewis, baby," and that little girl wasn't sleeping or crying. She just laying there with a look on her face, said, "Where you been, fool? I've been waiting for you." Well, I looked at her and I said, "You don't know me, little girl, but I'm your daddy, and I'd kill for you. And you and me and your mom are going to have a good life." And we did, too. Even after Mindy's mama died, Mindy was always a special child. She woke up with a smile on her face. She walked by the time she was 9 months old. She's the best mistake I ever made, fella. And she still is. Like, what I'm trying to say is, this could work out for you, too. The same thing could happen. I mean, you could learn to love Mindy the way that I learned to love Mindy's mama. Because Mindy's baby's going to be special just like Mindy is. But don't marry her if you don't think you can learn to love her. That's all I got to say. The decision is up to you.
Dr. Bauer,